My stepkids once told me I needed to know my place in their house. That's when I finally realized where I truly belonged. Out the door, along with every dollar I'd been pouring into their lives. Hey everyone, welcome back to Reddit Visuals. You know what I used to believe? That love could buy respect over time. That if you gave enough, your time, your money, your energy, people would eventually start to see you as family. But what I learned is this. Some people will drink from your well for years, then still complain the water wasn't cold enough. I'm Brandon. I'm 43, work as an electrician, and thought I was building a blended family. Instead, I discovered I was just bankrolling a bunch of ungrateful freeloaders who saw me as nothing more than an ATM with a tool belt. This is the story of how 3 stepchildren taught me that sometimes, walking away is the only way to save yourself. Let's rewind 7 years. I met Melissa when I was 36. She was 34 at the time, divorced and raising 3 kids. Ethan was 14, Chloe was 12, and Logan was 10. Looking back, I don't know what went through my head. Maybe it was the way Melissa carried herself. She could light up a room just by walking in. She had this sharp, confident presence, and when she focused on you, it felt like you were the only one in the world that mattered. Meanwhile, I had a steady setup, renting a nice 2-bedroom apartment and putting money aside for a future house. Melissa, on the other hand, was stuck in a crumbling rental with her kids. The landlord never fixed a thing, and her ex, Nathan, was behind on child support again. 3 months late and counting. After we'd been dating for about 8 months, I thought I was making this huge romantic move. I found a beautiful 4-bedroom home in a great school district. I suggested we move in together. I would handle the down payment and mortgage, while she took care of groceries and day-to-day expenses. I saw us as a team. The kids were excited at first. Bigger rooms, a spacious backyard, even a basement game room. I spent weeks getting everything ready for them. Ethan got a gaming setup, Chloe had her own study nook, and I built Logan a little reading corner. I wanted them to feel like this was truly their home too. And honestly, that first year was amazing. I wasn't trying to replace Nathan. He showed up every other weekend when he felt like it, but I was there every day. I handled school pickups when Melissa worked late, helped with homework, drove them to practices and playdates. I fixed bikes, taught Ethan how to handle car maintenance, and worked on Chloe's science projects. I loved those kids, and for a while I thought maybe they were starting to love me back. But then, somewhere around year 2, the tone shifted. At first it was little things. Ethan not bothering with a thank you, Chloe rolling her eyes when I tried to help, and Logan suddenly switching from calling me Brad to just Brandon. Melissa brushed it off. They're just testing boundaries, she told me. It's normal with step-parents. They'll grow out of it. Except they didn't grow out of it. They leaned into it. By year 3, the disrespect was impossible to ignore. When people asked them about family, they'd say, "It's me, my mom, my brother, and my sister." I was invisible. At Ethan's football games, he'd introduce Melissa proudly as my mom, and act like I wasn't even standing there. Even though I was the one driving him to practice 3 nights a week, still I kept giving. Chloe wanted to join an expensive dance academy. I wrote the check. Logan needed a math tutor. I found the best in town and paid for weekly lessons. Ethan's car broke down. I spent my entire Saturday fixing it. No charge. What did I get in return? Eye rolls. Sighs. A sarcastic whatever, Brandon. Melissa started making excuses for them. They're teenagers. They're still processing the divorce. Nathan fills their heads with nonsense about you. But Nathan was barely in the picture. He bailed on so many weekends the kids stopped waiting for him. I was the one who showed up. I was the one they leaned on. Yet somehow that only made me the hired help, not family. Things hit a peak last year when Melissa and I finally got married. I thought making it official would change things. I was wrong. I truly believed the kids would finally see me as permanent. Not just mom's boyfriend, but someone in their lives for good. I even asked Ethan to stand in the wedding party. He said yes, but with zero enthusiasm. The wedding itself was small but beautiful. Melissa looked incredible. The kids played their roles, but it was like they were just checking boxes, not celebrating. During the reception, I overheard Chloe whispering to her cousin, "Yeah, Mom married Brandon. He pays for everything, so I guess it makes sense." Not, "He's been good to us." Not, "We love him." Just, "He pays for everything." That should have been the wake-up call. But I held on to hope. After the honeymoon, I suggested we all sit down to talk about family expectations, rules, respect, how we'd work together. Ethan cut me off mid-sentence. Dude, just because you married our mom doesn't mean you're our dad. You need to get that straight. Chloe chimed in. Yeah, Nathan's our dad. You're just Brandon. And then came Logan, the one I thought was closest to me. Logan, the kid I thought I had the strongest bond with, delivered the hardest blow. You're nice and all, but you're not really family. You're more like mom's helper. Melissa just sat there in silence. No defense, no correction, no setting boundaries. Just an awkward quiet that said everything I needed to know. That night I couldn't sleep. The truth hit me like a brick wall. I'd been fooling myself. These kids didn't see me as a father figure. They didn't even see me as family. To them, I was just a resource, a wallet on legs that fixed things and drove them around. Still, I wasn't ready to give up. Not until about 3 months ago, when I overheard a conversation that changed everything. I'd come home early from a job site to grab some tools. The kids didn't hear me come in. They were in the kitchen making snacks, talking like I wasn't around. Ethan scoffed. Brandon thinks he's our dad or something. It's honestly embarrassing. Chloe laughed. I know, right? Like, dude, you're not special. You just married our mom. Then Logan, the one I thought cared about me most, added. He acts like he owns this house or something. Like we should be grateful he even exists. Ethan piled on. He needs to know his place. This is our house, our family. He's just the guy who pays the bills. Chloe agreed. Exactly. He's lucky mom even lets him hang around. Most divorced moms wouldn't put up with some random guy trying to play daddy. And Logan finished it with, he's so desperate for us to like him. It's actually pathetic. Then they all laughed. Not in some cruel, villainous way, just casually, like I was the family joke they shared. I stood frozen in the hallway of the very house I was paying for, listening to 3 kids I had raised for 7 years mock me like I was nothing. Something inside me didn't just crack that day, it died. I quietly slipped back outside, sat in my truck, and drove around for 2 hours. I didn't cry, I didn't yell, I just thought. By the time I came home, I was calm on the outside. I had dinner with them, helped Logan with homework, asked Ethan about practice. But inside, I knew I was done. From that moment forward, I started preparing my exit. Over the next several weeks, I documented everything. Every bill I paid, every dime I put into that family. Mortgage, utilities, groceries, Ethan's car insurance, Chloe's dance academy, Logan's tutoring, their clothes, phones, gaming systems, streaming subscriptions, you name it. When I finally added it up, the total nearly knocked me over. Almost $400,000 over 7 years. That's not counting the house down payment. Please don't judge me. I truly did it all for love. But looking back, I should have been investing in my own future instead of funding theirs. On top of that, I started recording conversations not to be sneaky, but because I had this gut feeling things would turn ugly. And I was right. Last month, it all blew up. Melissa had been stuck working late shifts, so I was handling dinners with the kids. One night, I grabbed their favorite takeout, set everything up nice. Ethan scrolled on his phone, Chloe whined about her teachers, and Logan just sat there ignoring everyone. I tried to start a conversation. So, how was everyone's day? Ethan barely glanced up. Fine. Ethan, can you put the phone down during dinner? We're trying to talk. He finally looked at me with nothing but disdain. You're not my dad. You don't get to tell me what to do. Chloe jumped right in. Yeah, Brandon, just because you live here doesn't mean you make the rules. And then Logan, sweet little Logan, looked me dead in the eye and said, this isn't even your house. It's ours. You need to remember your place. I set my fork down carefully. My place. Ethan smirked. Yeah, your mom's husband. That's it. You don't get to parent us or act like you're in charge. Chloe nodded. We already have a dad. We don't need another one, especially not one who tries so hard. And Logan twisted the knife. This is our family. You're just here. I stared at these 3 kids I had poured my heart, my money, and my time into for years. Kids telling me to my face that I didn't belong. Not in the house I paid for, not in the family I thought I was building. You're right, I said quietly. I do need to know my place. I stood up, walked to my office, and printed out every document I'd been collecting. Mortgage payments, bank statements, receipts for groceries, car insurance, dance classes, tutoring, everything. Then I picked up the phone and called my lawyer. When Melissa came home that night, I was waiting with 2 big binders on the table. "We need to talk," I told her. Her face dropped. "What's going on?" I pressed play on my phone, the recording of the kids' conversation at dinner, where they told me I wasn't family, that this wasn't my house, that I needed to know my place. As the words echoed through the kitchen, Melissa's face went pale. Melissa tried to brush it off. "Brandon, they're just kids. Teenagers. They're going through a phase." I cut her off. "Melissa, they've been saying I'm not family for years. You've heard it. And not once have you defended me or corrected them." She opened her mouth to argue, but I held up my hand. "No, I'm done. I've spent 7 years trying to earn respect from people who see me as nothing but a credit card. I've paid for everything. I've shown up for everything. And all I've gotten back is disrespect." I slid the binders across the table. "This is every expense I've covered. The mortgage, utilities, clothes, activities, phones, you name it. $400,000 over 7 years. And that doesn't even begin to cover my time, my effort, or my love." Tears filled her eyes. "Brandon, please. I'm selling my half of the house. You can either buy me out or move somewhere else. All the utilities are being transferred into your name. I'm pulling myself off the insurance, phone plans, streaming services, everything. You can't just abandon us," she cried. "I'm not abandoning anyone," I told her. "I'm respecting their wishes. They don't want me to be family, fine. They don't want me making rules in their house, fine. They want me to know my place. And my place is somewhere I'm actually wanted." The next few days were chaos. The kids finally learned what "Brandon just pays for everything" really meant. The Wi-Fi was cut off. Ethan's car insurance lapsed. Chloe's dance classes were canceled. Ethan was the first to break. "Dude, this is crazy. We didn't mean it like that." "Yes, you did. And that's okay," I said calmly. "Your real dad can step up now." Chloe tried the tears. "Please don't leave us. We're sorry." "Sorry for what? For years of disrespect? For telling me I'm not family? Or just sorry your free ride is ending?" And Logan, the one I thought I had the deepest connection with, delivered one last heartbreak. "I didn't know you were keeping track of money. That's kind of mean." Even in her apology, she made me the villain. Melissa begged, pleaded, promised things would change. But 7 years of behavior doesn't turn around overnight. And I was done exhausting myself trying to love people who saw that love as weakness. 2 weeks later, I moved into a quiet apartment across town. Just me, my tools, and my peace of mind. The house sold fast. Melissa couldn't keep up with the mortgage alone. She and the kids ended up moving in with her sister. Nathan, the so-called real dad, suddenly became impossible to reach whenever responsibility came knocking. A few months later, I got letters from the kids. Ethan admitted he hadn't realized how much I did. Chloe wrote that she took me for granted. Logan sent a drawing with "I'm sorry" scribbled in crayon. But none of them could say what they were really sorry for. They weren't sorry for the years of disrespect. They were just sorry I was gone. I didn't respond. 6 months after that, Melissa texted me, "Nathan can't handle them. Ethan is failing school. Chloe quit dancing. Logan cries every night. They need stability. They need you." My reply was short. "They made it clear I wasn't their family. Nothing has changed." She kept calling for weeks. Eventually, I blocked her number. Because here's what I finally learned. You can't love someone into respecting you. You can't sacrifice your way into matching. And you can't buy yourself a place in someone's heart. Those kids had 2 fathers. One who chose to be absent, and one who chose to give everything he had. They sided with DNA over devotion. So I chose myself. A year later, I met Olivia. She's a teacher, divorced, no kids, and she treats me like I'm the most important person in her world. We're getting married next month. Every once in a while, I see Melissa at the grocery store. She looks worn out, stressed. We give each other a polite nod. Nothing more. Through mutual friends, I've heard the updates. Ethan dropped out of high school. Chloe's working fast food. Logan is struggling in school. Do I feel bad? Sometimes. But then I remember 16-year-old Logan telling me I needed to know my place in the house I was paying for. I did know my place, it was anywhere but there. So was I wrong for walking away? For letting their biological dad handle the fallout? For finally choosing my own happiness over their convenience? I don't think so. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling someone's worst behavior, even if that means walking away from people you truly cared about. In the end, those kids learned that just Brandon was actually the foundation their whole world was built on. Too bad they only figured that out after the foundation was gone. What would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this story relatable, hit like and subscribe. More family drama is coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.